Hello, friends. Thank you so much for serving this Sunday on Mother's Day Sunday. We are doing things a little bit different this week because of it being Mother's Day, so I wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of this week's lesson. Both groups start out the same, so I'm going to just go from the K through 2 lesson at the beginning. To start out, before the service, you check in to pray in the Children's Ministry check-in room, and then when you get to your room, you turn on the music and you set out the center activities. Lately, we've been allowing the kids to set out the center activity choices, and sometimes their tables choose just to talk, which is actually fine too. So that will be up to you as a team for how you want to set out those centers. Then at around 9:45 is when they're going to do those centers and just monitor their behavior and kind of talk as a group to kind of know how you're going to move forward with the lesson for who wants to do what pieces of the lesson. At 10:10 is when all the students clean up their center activity. And I, at 10:15, when that cleanup time is over, I select one student from each table to have them put away that center in the white bookcase that is by the door so that everything is put away. And then at 10:15, when that is done, the 3rd through 5th grade students will exit to their classroom on the other side of the partition. So the lesson stays the same still up to this point. Once the 3rd grader through 5th graders and the kindergartners through 2nd graders are separated. Both groups are going to start with practicing their memory verse. Both groups, I'm going to scan up so you can see it. Both groups have a piece of brown craft paper displayed in their room. And this is week 2 of this month's memory verse. And so there are blanks for the, "Oh, where shall I flee from your presence?" So you can select kids from your group to come up and fill in those blanks for the group. And then after that, we do our prayer. Now, this is where we changed a little this month. We are tracking prayer requests so that we can check in with kids to see how things are developing, if it's something major going on in their family. And so each group has a purple notebook that is labeled for their group and for this year and next year. And we put their prayer requests. So May 1st, this was their prayer requests, and we'll continue a different page for each week. So I ask that you do record what their prayer requests are and then praying through those prayer requests together as a group. After that, as a group, you pray through the Lord's Prayer. If anyone is uncomfortable and doesn't have it memorized yet, just remind them that it is displayed in the room. In the 3rd through 5th grade room, it is up there on the board on the blue paper. In the kindergarten through 2nd grade room, it's on the door. Once prayer time is over, then we move into the time for the Bible story. This week, we are actually jumping backwards to the story of a mother from the Bible. We're going to be reading about Hannah and Samuel. So we'll be turning back to an Old Testament story, which is on pages 102, 103. And we start by reading this. And this week, normally we do actually go back and reference the ESV Bible for where it actually comes from in the Bible. But this week, we're just going to read from here because our crafts are a little bit more detailed this week. And that way we'll have some extra time. So once you've had a chance to read through the story, you can use these questions as a guide to kind of discuss it with the kids. And there are also some follow-up questions on your lesson plans. So on the K through 2, it's on the back. And then also for the 3rd through 5th, it is also on the back of the lesson plan. So you have your discussion questions and some sample answers. It's fine if they want to be more creative and go deeper, or if you want to extend it on your own, that's fine too. And then around 11 o'clock is when we begin the craft. Now, we don't usually have a craft in 3rd through 5th grade, but because it's Mother's Day, we do have a craft this week. So I'm going to show you the 2 crafts that we have. So those 2 crafts are right here. All right, so the first craft is a fingerprint flower art. It is the same for K through 2 and 3rd through 5th. It's just tiered a little bit differently. So in K through 2, I would come up with a sample. This is the example. And so I just wrote, I love my mom because she teaches me about Jesus. And they already have their stems and leaves on their paper for them so they can color them. On the top, they will do fingerprints. We have pink and purple ink pads for both classrooms. I'll also have baby wipes. The ink does come off really easily. I just ran my hands under some water when I did it and it came right off. So if you are in K through 2, I would recommend when you do this, do some brainstorming for ideas about why they love their mom and write them on the board and read through them with them so that they remember which statement is which, maybe even switch dry erase colors so that they can remember which one they are writing on their paper. And they need to remember to write their name somewhere. On the other paper for the 3rd through 5th graders, I only have one example of a stem, and then they do the rest on their own. So they can use their own creativity. And then I wouldn't do anything on the board for 3rd through 5th graders. You can talk about some ideas, but let them use their own creativity. If they are finished early and they're the first one in the group done, they can turn their paper over and draw a picture of them and their mom, or maybe our memory verse for the month, anything that is kind of focused on Mother's Day or the things that we are studying for this month. Now, the second craft, if they finish early and there's still time, both classrooms have lots of different colors of tissue paper that is cut into probably 6-inch squares, as well as some glittery pipe cleaners. So they need to select 4 pieces of tissue paper, which I have an example right here. And they're going to take this and kind of scrunch the middle and tie this around there and fluff it to make it look like a flower. I'm going to pause it and make it myself so that you can see how to do this. All right, and this is what it looks like when it's done. I literally just scrunched it in the middle and kind of wrapped a little bit around and down. And so they have a flower with a stem. This side is scrunched more so it looks more petally. This side hasn't been done yet. So they can scrunch it as much as they want.